The Tao of Self-Confidence, Episode 205. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. Visit our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits. Well, hello, friend. Welcome to the Tao of Self-Confidence, where I share stories of amazing women who have discovered their inner journey to self-confidence. I'm your host today, Sheena Yap Chan, and today I have a phenomenal lady on. She is a woman with many talents, and, I'm just glad to have her on so she can share her story and tips on self-confidence. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Priya Chundunsing. Priya, how are you today? Maybe you can fill in a little bit more about yourself to our listeners.
That sounds good. That's always a tricky question. I am 28. I am currently a French-speaking collections officer for Yamaha, the automobile brand. I have 8 years of modeling and still in the process of still modeling. Prior to that, I used to oversee the brokerage business for a financial institution. I've been in Vancouver for 12 years. I am originally from Mauritius. Not a lot of people know about it. So it's a tropical island close to South Africa, Madagascar-ish.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And what's your cultural background?
It's very interesting. Mauritius was once a French colony. My ancestors, eventually the British took over at some point, and then my ancestors are actually from India. So I'm Hindu. But because Mauritius is so close to Africa, we're considered to be Africans.
I think it's fascinating, right? Just learning different cultures and where you come from, and just learning all this family history. So I mean, it's cool to hear that. And I heard Mauritius is a phenomenal, beautiful place to go and check out. So.
Definitely, the blue sea, turquoise water. That's where I'm from. I also speak 4 languages naturally, so people used to ask me like, "How come?" It's such a unique feature that I have.
I think it's great, right? It's you, and I think you don't really need to explain it sometimes, right? You are who you are, and you just embrace it.
It's true. I completely agree with you.
Thanks for sharing that. And what would be your favorite self-confidence quote?
Self-confidence quote, it's by Lady Gaga. It says, "Some women choose to follow men, and some women choose to follow their dreams. If you're wondering which way to go, remember that your career will never wake up and tell you that it doesn't love you anymore." That's something I've been living by for, I would say, the past 7 years of my life. And there's definitely a reason for that, which we will talk eventually.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to hear that. And thanks for sharing that awesome quote. I mean, Lady Gaga is a great example of just being her own person and stepping into her own power. In your own words, how would you define self-confidence?
Based on my past experiences, being comfortable in your own skin and going out there and just do what makes you happy. Honestly, I know it sounds so cliche because everybody says that, but it's true. If you haven't found yourself, this is exactly what you have to do.
I love it. And I don't think it's a cliche. I think, the more we hear these definitions, like being comfortable in your own skin, being happy with who you are, the more we can ingrain it in our brains. And, we want to train our brain to think things like this so we can go out there and be more confident and show others the same. So love the definition. And, what was your life like before your discovery of self-confidence?
So my cultural background is, it's all about status and how you look and how society looks at you. So coming from Mauritius, my family was always like, "Oh, you need to be educated. It's all about education. It's all about what's on paper. It's not about how you look." And definitely when I came here, when I was in high school, I had really bad acne as a teenager. So I was never the it girl. Like nobody ever asked me for a movie. Nobody ever, it was always guys would talk to me because they wanted to know about my friends. So I had decided that I needed to change that because I knew that even though I had acne and I was not physically pretty, my personality was awesome. I just knew that. So I went and saw the doctor and he gave me birth control pills. Within a month, my face cleared, and then I got an opportunity to model, and things started like that. So when I got the opportunity to model, and that was my aha moment. It was like, this world is actually a fake world. It is about how you look, but how people perceive you, it's a lot to do with how you portray yourself to the world. So that was my aha moment. And then since I pretty much do whatever I want. Like people put me down many times, especially for modeling. A lot of my family members didn't like it in the beginning, but then when I started appearing in magazines, I was in newspapers. I have been featured for Vogue, British Vogue magazine, in Elle Canada magazine. Then they accepted me for who I am.
Awesome. And I love that, right? I mean, just because someone doesn't think you're pretty, I mean, everyone has their own definition of beauty. And, most of the famous models out there, they went through the same thing you went through. I remember reading a story of the first, Asian like supermodel. She was born in this little village in China, and nobody thought she was pretty because she was too tall and she was awkward and she wasn't the standard beauty that most Chinese women had. But it didn't matter to her either. She just went out there and just kept on going until now she's like on the Forbes top like most paid models in the world. So it just goes to show that other people's perception of you doesn't really matter, right? Like you said, how you portray yourself to the world, it comes back to you, right? You attract the right things. And, I'm glad you're able to do that and you're still doing it, still modeling, still, putting yourself out there and showing others what's possible, especially, coming from, an Asian culture. It's difficult, right? Because we're always told to be in the background, never to make any noise, never to show so much of ourselves out there, in case we embarrass ourselves or we look stupid. So,
what society about you.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Or what our parents think of us or our family. So, it's great that you're out there doing your thing and showing others what's possible. And, Priya, to the woman who's listening to your episode, she may be in her own journey to self-confidence. What would be that one tip you would give to her?
Just don't give a shit. Honestly, I know that sounds cliche again, but if it makes you happy, go for it. There will always be haters, always. People will talk, especially being an Asian woman. People will talk whether you're doing something good or whether you're doing something bad. So what you want them to talk about, you get to choose that.
I love it. And I love, what you said, just don't give a shit. And it's true. I know, like you said, right? It's easier said than done. But I think the more we're aware of it and the more we keep on doing it, it does get easier. Like in anything, right? Whatever, in the beginning it gets hard, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. And it's just more freeing. And Priya, if our listeners wanted to connect with you, get to know a little bit more about you, is there any links or social media profiles we can connect with?
Definitely. You can add me on Facebook. It's Priya Chundunsing. Instagram, Priya Chundunsing. It's everywhere. It's Priya Chundunsing.
Awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And to our listeners, if you want to connect with Priya, you can also head on over to thetaoofselfconfidence.com and search for Priya's name. Her show notes will pop up along with everything else we talked about. And I really just want to thank Priya for taking the time to share her story and journey with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It was an honor to have you on. And to our listeners, be on the lookout for another new episode of another amazing woman's journey to self-confidence. And we'll catch you later. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in to another amazing episode of the Tao of Self-Confidence. Want to learn how you can use podcasting to market your business? Download your free report by visiting our website at thetaoofselfconfidence.com. Your inner journey to self-confidence awaits.